Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more standard Am I the Butthole? And if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting a like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, you cheeky so-and-so. And let's crack on with today's first story. Much love guys. Now, the first story comes from Throwaway Pool Problem, who says, am I the arsehole for ruining my brother's marriage because his wife left me at the pool? Throwaway. This whole situation is so bizarre. I still can't really process it. It still doesn't feel real, but I feel scared and guilty. I, 19 female, had surgery a couple of days ago to get all 4 of my wisdom teeth out, and because I have a really bad fear of dentists, they had to drug me pretty hard to do the removal. Not like laughing gas that wears off really fast, but actual IV medicine, so I was pretty much unconscious during the whole thing. They told me to have a responsible adult drive me to the appointment and back because the meds they gave me would make it dangerous to drive. My mum was on a work trip and couldn't take me, so I asked my sister-in-law, Bree, 24, not her real name, if she could do it, as the whole thing would only take an hour or two. I even offered gas money because the dental office is about 45 minutes away. I would have asked my brother, but he works during the day, and while Bree is a stay-at-home mum to their 2-year-old daughter, who I think was at Bree's mum's house that day. Bree agreed to take me to the appointment and the surgery went fine. Bree waited in the lobby for me to be done. When I came out of anesthesia, I was very disorientated and nauseous, which I guess is normal. I had gauze shoved in my mouth to stop any bleeding, and Bree took me to a car after I was let go. I don't really remember much of the drive, but it felt like not enough time passed before Bree got out of the car and told me to come with her. I was really out of it and just followed her because the alternative was staying in the hot car. Long story short, we were at a pool. I was really confused, but once we were through the gate, Bree basically parked me at one of those little table benches and she said she'd be back in a while. I was trying not to puke and was really dizzy from the heat, 90 plus degrees, and the drugs, so I asked her to take me home, but she wouldn't. I guess since it was her day off and she didn't have my niece, she was meeting friends at the pool. I started to feel really sick and on the verge of passing out or having a panic attack, so I called my brother. I don't think he could understand me between the meds and the stuff in my mouth because he hung up, and I guess he called Bree because she came stomping back over, cussing and yelling at me, and took me back to the car. I passed out on the drive home. But when we arrived, my brother had left work and met us in the driveway. He was screaming at Bree and she was crying. I was still pretty disorientated, but my brother took me back home and stayed with me until the meds wore off. That's when he told me he's divorcing Bree because of what she did, plus some other things he didn't go into detail about. It's been a few days since then, and Bree has been blowing up my phone telling me what a bitch I am and how me tattling destroyed her family. Part of me feels bad of my niece, and I wonder if I should have just dealt with it and waited for it to be done at the pool instead of calling my bro and causing problems. Am I the arsehole? Absolutely not the arsehole in this situation. I mean, for one, it didn't sound like you knew much of what was going on anyway, including the phone call itself. It just sounds like you was totally out of it. 2. Imagine being sister-in-law in this situation, and you're going to pick someone up who's coming out of surgery and thinking, it's okay. They're still under drugs here and they're still all over the place. And I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to take him to a swimming pool, plonk him down, and I'm going to go and have some leisure time for myself. I could never imagine myself doing that to a family member. I'd want them home. I'd want them safe. I want them to be comfortable. Wandering off and leaving you by yourself, while you're feeling sick, potentially passing out. What if you passed out, fell over, hit your head? Anything could have happened. It was her responsibility to look after you. She was the one that took on that responsibility. And all in all, I don't think this is the only issue. I think it's just the final straw, if you like. There's probably some other stuff going on. There's probably not just this. Your brother told you he's divorcing Bree because of what she did, plus some other things that he didn't go into detail about. So there is other stuff here. This isn't on you in any way, shape or form. This is their marriage. But Jeepers Creepers says, and quotes, he's divorcing Bree because of what she did, plus some other things. And it says, OP, you are not the reason they're getting a divorce, but if you find out the reason, please come back and update because inquiring minds want to know. Not the arsehole. Kitten of the East says not the arsehole, not remotely, and you did not ruin their marriage. The other thing your brother didn't detail. Sounds like Bree's treatment of you was the last straw. Lotus Eater replies to that one saying, since Bree referred to it as tattling, there's a good chance she was lying to your brother about what she was doing that day. Maybe he was mad that Bree lied about who was watching their daughter. Maybe she was meeting some guy at the pool or had been obviously thirsty over the lifeguard. Whatever it was more than the already vile behavior of leaving someone in pain and doped to the gills just parked in the heat while she had fun at the pool. This is no way your fault. Not the arsehole. Crossface says, oh honey, not the arsehole at all. Whilst I understand how you think you should have just sucked it up and kept quiet, you were also post-op and under the effects of heavy drugs. What she did was very irresponsible and childish. I also don't think that's the sole reason why your brother is thinking of divorce. It sounds like it's the final nail in the coffin though. Their marital problems are not yours and are in no shape or form your fault. Then OP comes in with, oh wow, I didn't expect this to blow up like this. Thank you all for the reassurance, it really does help. I still don't know what my brother meant by other things, but if I find out, I'll post an update. Thank you all again. It means a lot. And hopefully we'll keep an eye out for that update, and if you see it before me, don't forget to let me know as well, at Mark Narrations on Twitter. And let me know your thoughts about this story. What would you do in this situation? What do you think's going on? Let me know your thoughts and let's move on to another story. And our next story comes from Jew Eggplant 6702, who says, am I the arsehole for banning my brother from family events after he paid and took my son for a nose job? My son is 18 and always had an issue with his nose. Okay, it's slightly hooked, but it's not ugly or causing problems. He asked for money to get a nose job. I said no. His mum said no. My brother was very tight with him and promised him the best graduation present ever. We were thinking an oscillating fan. Oh, gift card. I thought nothing of it. He got him a nose job. It was this big secret that I didn't know. He actually lied about being at his mum's and lied to her about being at my house and then saying he was at a friend's when he was at my brother's for a week after the procedure. When I saw my son, he looked like he'd been slugged in the face. I thought he was joking when he said he got his nose job. My brother said he did nothing wrong, just what me and his mum couldn't do, and paid for it and accept it because our son is not a little kid. It's as if I don't recognize my son. My son says he's happy with it, but it's not even close to being healed. I felt so betrayed that I banned my brother from coming over. Sorry for laughing in the middle of this one, but that line absolutely had me howling. I had to stop for a couple of seconds there. It said like the brother was very tight and promised him the best graduation present ever. What are you guys thinking of? Oh, car? Maybe? PS5 possibly? I don't know, but they thought of an oscillating fan. Holy moly, but Strat Jr. says not the arsehole. He may be 18, but there are certain decisions that you really shouldn't make at that age, especially something like that. It's not even your brother's place to do that. User says, this is a toughie. As a parent, you love your child and see past any perceived flaws, and you hope they come to see all the wonderful things in themselves that you see in them. Sometimes that happens and they grow into their looks. They embrace their looks, develop that killer personality and sense of humor that makes people flock to them. Sometimes it doesn't, and him being 18, it is his nose after all. It happened without you having to pay for it. Ultimately, he's the one who has to look himself in the mirror every day. If it helps his self-esteem, I can't see it as a bad thing. You have every right to be angry at your brother, so I'm leaning towards a soft everyone sucks here. It was wrong for you not to take your son's feelings serious, and it was wrong for your brother and son doing it behind your back. What if something terrible had happened during surgery? Miss Smith says, best graduation present ever. You know, like an oscillating fan. Don't get me started again. Just for the comment alone, you're the arsehole. And it also doesn't matter that you think it wasn't causing problems for him. He obviously thought it was for him. Your brother listened and you didn't, so you don't get to be mad at your brother. Miss Smith then goes on to say, dude, the more I sit and think about that statement, the more I need context. Like, does he have a fetish for them that we don't know about? Does he collect vintage ones? Is it so hot where they are that it's considered a high value gift where they are from? OP, I need details. I won't be able to sleep tonight. You need an oscillating fan then, Mrs. Smith. They help you sleep. I have one switched on every single evening. Beat Blip Blap Bloop says you're the arsehole. Two adults made a choice you don't agree with, which didn't affect you and harm no one, so you ban one of them from your house. And one more from Holmes who says, I mean, kinda you're the arsehole. Yes, your brother should have at least spoken to you or given you a heads up, but your son is 18. He can vote, leave home, get married, join the army, get a tattoo, and get a nose job. He's happy with it and it will heal, so chill on that. Also, I want to ask, who on earth thinks that an oscillating fan is the best graduation gift? Oh, the whole thing has gone towards this oscillating fan, but what do you guys make of this situation? Was you as shocked about the oscillating fan as everyone else? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And let's move on to another story. And our next story comes from Faithlessness Low, who says, am I the arsehole for telling my girlfriend that I always choose to pay for my mum over her? Every year my entire family except my dad goes on vacation on an island where we also own a house, so we don't have any hotel expenses. My dad just doesn't enjoy the place that much, so he doesn't come, but it's usually me, my mum, and my 2 siblings with their partners. I've been with my girlfriend for 2 years. Last year she didn't come to our family trip because we hadn't been together long enough and my mum and siblings thought it would be inappropriate. But this year, since we've been together for 2 years, my mum personally invited her. My girlfriend was hesitant because of her bad financial situation. I assured her I got her covered. My mum doesn't work and only gets money from my dad. I work at the same company as my dad and I get paid a fairly good amount. 1 week before our trip, there was some financial trouble in the company and we wouldn't get paid in time, which means my dad wouldn't get his paycheck, neither would I, for at least 2 more weeks. Thankfully I had some money aside and if we had a decent budget limit on the trip, we'd make it work. Due to the salary not being paid, my dad didn't give my mum as much money. While we were there, I paid for my girlfriend a couple of times, but seeing how much my mum struggled, I made sure to cover most of her expenses too. I was left with little money, so I could not pay for my girlfriend and for my mum. My girlfriend got pissed on our last day there when I got lunch and coffee for my mum, but I only got a juice for her, without even asking her because it was the cheapest option. When we got home, she confronted me about how I should rest assured he has it all covered, but that she almost starved because of me and didn't enjoy the trip at all because I covered every unreasonable expense my mum wanted to make and I didn't cover my girlfriend's most basic necessities. And if I knew I'd prioritize my mum living like a queen and my girlfriend living like a dog who gets leftovers, I should just not invite her. I got very mad at her and I told her that of course my mum's comfort comes first and she didn't have enough money, so I wanted her to have expenses paid and have a nice trip and to get over herself because I'll always prioritize my mum's well-being. My girlfriend got very mad over this and told me a simple fine. On our way back she barely spoke to me and after I left her home she didn't reply to any of my texts and calls. I told my best friend what happened and he called me a tone-deaf asshole who did everything wrong and I should immediately apologize to my girlfriend. He also said how my mum probably enjoyed humiliating my girlfriend like that and how my siblings also suck for not contributing to helping out our mum financially and she just relied on me. He said I'm an arsehole who gets taken advantage of. Is that true? Am I the arsehole for what I did? Now, I personally feel you was the arsehole from the very title, but one of the big lines that jumped out to me was, but this year since we've been together for 2 years, my mum personally invited her. My girlfriend was hesitant because of her bad financial situation and I assured her I got her covered. When you clearly didn't have her covered and you clearly just prioritized your mum the whole way through this, like your actual statement said. You got lunch and coffee for your mum but only got a juice for her. How embarrassing would that be? Even if you was in the mum's position. And this is what I always think about what other people are going through. The mum's sitting there with a full lunch and a coffee watching her son's partner sat there with a juice. Perhaps she didn't realize what was going on, but I kind of think that she probably did. So yes, you're going to be the arsehole to me. But Specialist Method says yes, definitely you're the arsehole. You made a specific commitment to your girlfriend that you would have everything covered and she wouldn't need to worry about her financial situation. That is the only reason she felt confident going on the trip. You and your siblings could have taken turns picking up the bill for your mum, or contributed to a sum of money for her to use as she wanted, but you were the only person your girlfriend had to rely on. If your lifelong commitment is to your mother's well-being, it is best to make that clear from the beginning of a relationship. Most women interested in a long-term commitment with a man anticipate that dynamic shifting in adulthood to a prioritization of one's partner, especially in a relationship that has gone on for 2 years, let alone in a situation where the man has specifically assumed responsibility for providing necessities during any given period of time. I cannot imagine being able to continue a relationship with a man after assuring me he'd provide for my needs, instead gave his mother every comfort while I went hungry. Your girlfriend is right. If you're going to do the bare minimum for her and not even ensure she had basic necessities, you shouldn't have invited her. I'll go a step further and say if your mother is your priority to the detriment of every other person who will ever be in your life, please do not get into any more relationships. Heather Lincoln says, you're the arsehole. Listen, Norman. You can either have a girlfriend or be a mummy's boy. You can't have both. Important Cost says, you're the arsehole. You promised you got her covered and then you let her starve. What the fuck, dude? You should have informed your girlfriend that you were short on funds and if she couldn't afford it, she should stay home. You dragged her into this trip with false promises and treated her like shit. Why would your mum need both lunch and coffee while your girlfriend only got juice? Your mum wouldn't starve without a coffee. You would have managed your money better so everyone got enough to eat. I hope your girlfriend dumps your ass. Tasha Nicole says, oh, let me understand this. Your mother invited your girlfriend on a family vacation. Your girlfriend expressed hesitancy because she couldn't afford it. Knowing she couldn't afford it, you told her you got her covered. Knowing the financial situation of your parents, you didn't advise your girlfriend that she isn't important enough, after wasting 2 years of her time on you, to go because you want your mum to have a good vacation, and your dad, the person responsible for your mother here, can't afford it, so needs to stay home. But no. You led her to believe you are capable of paying for her, and you take her. After tricking her into coming, you then make her subsist for a week on the barest of necessities to treat your mother as queen of the universe. I pity your girlfriend. The point of dating and LTRs is finding a partner for life, and you're supposed to put that partner first. You've no concept or understanding of that and should therefore cut her loose if she hasn't dumped you already. You're the arsehole. Now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? What would you say to OP if he was in front of you? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. And our next story comes from Sarah Rudy 32, who says, am I the arsehole for saying not a single dime when my husband demanded that I share my inheritance with him? Let me explain. Me, female 32, and my husband, male 37, have been married for 4 years. No children, no joint assets, but we have a shared account that we both contribute to equally to pay for everyday expenses. He inherited over 20k from his dad 2 years ago. At the time, my younger brother, 19, was suffering from a chronic condition and needed surgery. I helped with all I could, so did the family, but we needed 7k to be able to have the surgery sooner. I asked my husband if he could help and pay the 7k, and he refused. I offered multiple deals. 1, promising to pay him back and getting it in writing. 2, offering to make a payment plan to return the money bit by bit monthly. He still said no. Not gonna lie, I pressed him, but he blew up and told me it's his dad's money and I wasn't entitled to a penny. I dropped it, but was hurt by the stance he chose, especially after he went to buy a truck with the money. My brother passed away months later. Fast forward 4 months ago, I inherited 40k from my mum and put it into my personal account. My husband was puzzled that I didn't either split the money on both of our accounts nor put the entire inheritance in our joint account. I gave no explanation, but he kept bringing it up, especially after his truck got stolen and the rest of the money gone after he blew it on golf trips and fancy gifts for his nieces and sisters and friends. Yesterday, his parents came for dinner and he brought up my inheritance in front of the family. I said I didn't want to talk about it, but he pressed me and asked when I was going to finally move the 40k to our joint account or move 20k to his account. I gave no response, which made him snap and ask if I'll ever answer his question. I looked at him and said, never. Not a single dime. He went red in the face and his siblings got quiet. Dinner got awkward and they left later. He didn't yell or anything, just said that I insulted him and treated him like he's a nobody in front of his family, then completely stopped talking to me, saying he's ready to talk to me again when I'm ready to move the money to our joint account or put 20k into his. I'm not sure how you feel about this one, but as soon as it said my brother passed away months later and potentially that 7k could have helped him, that would have been the deal breaker for me there and then. The inheritance, he's not entitled to a single dime the way he treated you throughout all this, and he wouldn't be entitled to it anyway. The cop says not the arsehole, but I don't understand why you're married to this man. He wouldn't lend you 7k to help your dying brother, but expect you to give him 20k just because. There's more to a marriage than finances, and I'm sure he is wonderful in many other ways, but has clearly shown you that you're expected to respect his boundaries while maintaining none of your own. He even chose to bring up a marital issue in front of his family to back you into a corner and got pissy when you wouldn't back down from social pressure. So now he's trying emotional manipulation by giving you the silent treatment. Voyager says not the arsehole, he's not a husband, he's a leech. You need to explain to him exactly why you will never share your inheritance with him and ask him to spell out for you why precisely he's entitled to half your inheritance when he said you wouldn't get a 1 penny of his. At that point, he should respond with, oh shit, that's right, I totally forgot. I really was an arsehole, wasn't I? I'm so sorry, honey. I can't go back in time and do what I should, which was to share mine, but at least I can say that I'll never ask for a penny of your inheritance again. If what he says is materially different from this, call your lawyer and discuss divorce. And the comments just pretty much continued along that exact same path all the way through. What would you do if you was in that situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. As always, a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, support and time always means the absolute world to me, so thank you so much for just being incredible, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care guys, and much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today